Just a disclaimer for you guys, when I first recorded this I was knackered and I make shit tons of grammatical errors. I'd like to apologise beforehand for this, and yeah, listen to 22 minutes of me rambling like an idiot. Enjoy. So I've just read a rumour article, and I've been sort of left with a displeasant taste in my mouth after reading it, because there are a couple of things in there which have sort of ticked me off, and as you can tell by the title of this video, it's sort of going to be my opinion on what we need at the club. So this article, well, one of the players in this article that we were linked with, because we're linked with every player under the sun nowadays, but one of the players is an 18-year-old centre midfielder. I'm not sure if he can play in different positions. I haven't really looked into him that much, apart from had a quick look at his Wikipedia page. He's an 18-year-old centre midfielder called Teddy, I'll check his name now, I can't remember, Teddy Bishop, that's it. And he's apparently only played around 16-15 games this season, and before I say, I'm not going to be criticising the player himself. I'm not sure he must be good enough if we are linked to him. Apparently several clubs are after him, like Manchester United and so forth, so obviously he must be talented, but that's sort of where I'm annoyed, because the boy is 18, it's his first season, and the same thing with Callum Chambers. Now, we're spending a lot of money on young players, and we don't need young players as it is, which kind of annoys me. It sort of annoys me that clubs would go out to sign players under the age of 18 or 18 when they have their own youth academy. I understand that the youth academy players might not be up to the quality of what this Teddy Bishop might be, or Callum Chambers might be, but then still, you'd think that they'd try and sort of, make a better recruiting system or something. But no, we're going to, if the rumour is true, go out and spend 10 million on an 18-year-old. Now, don't get me wrong, he might be a brilliant addition to the squad. He could be a world-class, well, I would just say world-class, but you never know. You never know in this day and age. Who would have said a couple of years ago Gareth Bale would be playing for Real Madrid and the most expensive player in the world? But what I'm a bit annoyed about is the fact that we don't need a youngster. Now, a lot of people have been complaining about what positions we need to improve on, and there's been a lot of debate lately about goalkeeper position because of the recent game Chesney had against Southampton, and I want to rule that one out, because I don't think we need a goalkeeper position, because I think Chesney is good enough. Yes, I think he's 24 now, and he still has a lot to learn. I don't think that goalkeepers should be judged properly until around the age of 28. They should be judged, yeah, but that's when they reach their peak, around 28. Above that, if you see most goalkeepers, that's when they start to blossom the most. I find, well, not 20, about 27, 28, and then they start getting better and better. I think that's when they get to the peak. That's my personal opinion. You might disagree. But not only that, I think we need, definitely, the main positions we need to improve is nearly everywhere in defence. I like Kieran Gibbs. I will keep with Kieran Gibbs, because I think he still has a lot to prove at that position. Right back position's been an if and ah this season, because Debussy's played there, Chambers has played there, Bellerin has played there. We've got to sort of find out who's going to be the main person there. Bellerin, yes, he's had a couple of good games there, but he's still a bit young. I'm not sure we should be playing him permanently there as of yet. Debussy, on the other hand, has been making a lot of mistakes, and I don't think Callum Chambers is up for the task to play at right back, even though he played there for Southampton. He's just been, I find he's been woeful there. I think he's been much better in that sort of centre-back position. What we need the most is a centre-back, if not two. I don't think, I've said a couple of times now, last season and before that I was very for Mertesacker. I always liked him. A lot of people even told me that I was a bit, silly for liking him, and last season he had a brilliant season, and Koscielny did as well. But I've always said about Koscielny that he is the one who gives away most of, the mistakes. He's the one who sort of leads to most of the goals that we concede. And a couple of good examples is the penalty he gave away. He's normally the one to give away the most penalties as well. Good example was the penalty he gave away against Manchester City when he rugby tackled, was it Edin Dzeko to the floor? And that was a whole case. And from there on, I think it was after that, I sort of realised how much Koscielny was sort of affecting our defence, because yes, he's a brilliant player, and Mertesacker plays brilliantly with him, but at the same time, he does a lot of mistakes. Mertesacker, on the other hand, I do like him, but a 30-year-old player who didn't have pace in the first place is only deteriorating, is that, yep, that's a word, deteriorate or whatever, I can't say that word, yeah, but a player like him, you know, we have to sort of get somebody new in for those two centre-back positions. Plus, I don't think the fact that our club captain and our vice-captain, Mertesacker and Arteta, I don't think they're good enough to be the captains, to be honest, and I'll get more into that after I talk you through this centre defensive midfield position, and we definitely need one of them. Now, players we are linked with, obviously we're linked with more than one in these positions I have named so far. We've been linked with, well, I've still seen some rumours that we are linked with Serge Aurier. I doubt that's going to happen. Right back position, I think that we won't buy anybody in that sort of position. Goalkeeper, we are linked with a couple of players, Petr Cech for instance, but I can't see that happening. One of the big players, well, not big, sort of upcoming players we're linked with is a goalkeeper, but again, what is different with him and say Teddy Bishop for instance is the fact that this goalkeeper, who I think plays for, I don't know what club he plays for, some German club, and I can't remember his name. I'm sorry, I'll leave a link to all of the players in the description for you lot, but this player has played games, you know, he's actually got a few games. I think he's played about 2 seasons worth for a team that's been, you know, that is in the top of the Bundesliga. They're like, well, not top, mid-table Bundesliga, but then a player like that who's had more experience, we can sort of rely on a bit more, I find, than say somebody who's in their first season and we're paying a lot of money for to start off with. CDM position we have been linked with, you know, Willem Carvalho, we've been linked with Morgan Schneiderlin and a couple of other players, but Willem Carvalho one, I don't know if that's going to fall through. I would love it to fall through, you know, he's proven himself, he is 22, still young, but at the same time he has proven himself as a main player for Sporting Lisbon, who are a big team, but also he's played a lot of games, he's playing miles above his age, he is, and so, you know, he's good enough to bring in and play first team, I find, instantly for us. What I don't like is that people are saying that Morgan Schneiderlin, oh, I think I'm saying his name right, is coming to the club instantly, because my sort of theory on this is, why would Morgan Schneiderlin, or I'm not sure if I'm saying his name right, sorry if I'm not, but why would he come to Arsenal at the moment? He's with Southampton, who are in a better position. Yes, he might get paid more money, but he's at a club in a better position, where he's loved by all the fans. Well, I'm not sure. Is he loved by you Southampton fans? I've seen a lot of you really sort of praise him to the stars, and you're happy that he stayed, but then I've seen 1 or 2 people, you know, criticise him for everything he said on Twitter and so forth, and I just want to know what you guys think. But by what I've seen a lot of love towards Morgan Schneiderlin, so why would he leave? He's in good form there. I don't think that move will happen. We've been linked with a few other CDMs as well, but they're all CDMs who aren't, you know, I wouldn't say they good enough for Arsenal, and yeah, there might not be enough for, you know, there might not be enough players for him available in January, but then if he's still at the club, Wenger now I'm talking about, if he's still at the club in, you know, the summer to come now, he's going to have to, you know, bring in a lot of good players, and back to what I said earlier, the captain position. Now, I've always sort of been a bit iffy about this, and I can say the same thing along with the captain position about our defence. The fact that our captain, yes, he's experienced, Mikel Arteta is experienced, but at the same time, he's 33, although I'm not sure of his age at the moment, actually. Is he 33? I'll look now. But he's never had a cap for his country. Yes, it's Spain, for Christ's sake. Oh, he's only 32. I thought he was about 33, but still, 32. He's in his 30s. You know, he hasn't had a cap for Spain. He's been, he's been around the block. He's been with Everton. He's been with Rangers. He's been with PSG. He's been with loads of clubs. But think about it. That's not the type of person we should have as our captain. Somebody who's never even capped, for Christ's sake. And he's supposed to be our most experienced player. Mertesacker in defence rest, 4th choice centre back for Germany. Before him, we have Boateng, Hummels, and Hauverdes? Yeah, the Schalke defender. You have hit those three starting before him, and it's coming to the point now where Ginter, the new centre back, young centre back, I don't know who he plays for. I think it's Mönchengladbach, is it? No, might be somebody else, but he's starting over Mertesacker. And we have Koscielny first team, for France. Then we have Kieran Gibbs, and I do like Kieran Gibbs, but then you have to remember he's now like the 3rd choice left back for England behind Luke Shaw and Leighton Baines. By the looks of it, Ryan Bertrand starts carrying on with his form. He'll be the 4th choice, Kieran Gibbs will, so that's bad as well. We have Poland's #1 goalkeeper. We also have at right back Matej Debuchy, who has recently become the #1 right back for France, but for how long will he be? Yes, he's an experienced player, but I'm alright with our full-back positions, as I said, but what we need the most at Arsenal isn't, a big player, somebody, everybody's like going on about Edinson Cavani joining us, or, big names, blah blah. What we need is an experienced player who's played at the international level, who has captained clubs, even if he is about 30, 31. Buy him, because we need somebody who's going to sort of captain our club. And I don't mean any sort of club, I mean sort of like an club that's used to winning more than losing. You know what sort of club I'm on about. But it sort of gets annoying. I know I'm a bit mumbling here, it's just because I'm trying to do this all improv as usual. And it's just really annoying that he's gone for this boy now, this Teddy, whatever his name was, Teddy Bishop. That was it. And no disrespect to Teddy Bishop, because he's probably a talented footballer, and I'm going to look more into him after this video. He's probably a talented footballer, but we don't need a player like that. We need somebody who's going to, influence the players, going to boost the morale, because what Arsenal are lacking at the moment is the passion to play football, because we're going down like 1-0 down, or we're not scoring after the first 30 minutes, then we're giving up. We're losing all fight, we're losing all of the passion, and nobody at the club is sort of influencing. But what I'm nervous about for this transfer window, I would be, content with signing one good player, not world class. It doesn't have to be, super talented, known all around Europe. One good player, one player who can sort of boost the morale at the club. I don't know who can do that. That's up to Wenger to find out at the end of the day. But what annoys me is the fact that I'm really nervous now that he is going to be under the impression that because Ozil's back, Ramsey's back, all these players are back, we're going to be okay, nothing's going to affect us, all of our big players are back, we don't need to sign anybody in January. And I'm really scared that that's sort of the way he's going to look at January this year, because that's not how we should look at it. We need one player at least, just for January, I think. Just for January, one player at least, and it has to be that defensive position. If he buys one player in that position. He can sort the rest out in the summer, in my opinion, because what we are lacking aren't... I'll go ahead and say this again, because I know I've said Koscielny and Mertesacker sort of... I don't think they're good enough for that position, but then at the end of the day, they're not bad players. What I'm trying to say is the fact that they're not playing to what they can. They're not bothering. They're being lazy. That's what I find. And even if we just brought in that one player for that position, I think it would boost the morale perfectly. I'd say, for instance, Willem Cavallo. I don't know why I want to just get that off my head. Say if we brought him in, maybe his overall performances will be average to good, not excellent, so forth. But then it will still boost the morale of everybody else, I think, knowing that we have somebody who's good, or, you know, he's doing his job in that centre defensive midfield area, instead of having fucking Flamini there. Coquelin has shown sort of ambition in the last couple of games, but then is he the person to play there? That's another thing I'm nervous about, that he's going to look at the squad, think, I got Coquelin playing there, he's doing okay, let's not bother trying to sign somebody, you know, to sort of boost morale. And it is sort of annoying people criticising our attack as well. We have to remember Theo Walcott people were blatantly having a go at Wenger, and I'm not going to, before I carry on saying this, I'm not going to say that I've been 100% behind Wenger, because I haven't. As it stands, I think that Wenger won't be here by the end of the season, and I would like him to leave the club, and that's going to raise up a lot of people's, you know, eyebrows, because I want him to leave the club simply because I don't want him to taint his heresy anymore. If we give him another season, let's do it at the end of the day, but he has to prove that he can do it. He can still do it, because at the end of the day, yes, he's done brilliant things for us in the past, but can he still do it? That's the thing. We're Arsenal Football Club. We shouldn't be pushovers, basically. We shouldn't be a club that are going for nothing, going for 4th place each season. We should be going for, you know, top table sort of push, you know. It's really annoying. Look at Manchester United, they did terribly last season, and look at them now. They're doing absolutely brilliant. Yes, they've been under new management and stuff, but then you think that for somebody who hasn't had experience in the Premier League, Louis van Gaal at the moment is doing better than Wenger this season. Arguably he does have a better squad, but arguably Arsenal should be doing much better, seeing that the morale at Manchester United was low at one point. Maybe the morale has gone because of what happened last season, where we flunked the title. Not as bad as Liverpool though. But it is quite annoying when, you know, we aren't going for that push. And I'll repeat myself again, like I've said for the whole video, just in case you're sort of, you know, confused by this rant I've done. But we don't need, as of now, I don't think we need a world-class player in that sort of centre-back, central, defensive area. What I do think we need, though, is an influential player who will boost the morale, or at least, bring something, a boost of confidence to the players, wanting them to actually play football instead of actually not being bothered. Not just because I think if we boost the defence's morale, everybody in the club will be happy, because they'll feel more comfortable about going forward instead of being countered and so forth, and the defenders will be playing better and so forth. And we just need somebody who's going to have a voice in our club. When it comes to the summer, I think Wenger's going to need to splash the cash big time. I know he did it this season, but then I'm really under this impression that he's going to sign a lot of youngsters in the upcoming year, and it's really annoying because, and I know I was with signing them, sorry, but it is really annoying that we're signing youngsters when we don't need youngsters, and what we need to look at is now, not the future. Yeah, I think I've ranted on for quite a bit as it is now. It is 1:15 in the morning. Sorry if I'm a bit quiet in this video, is because I'm recording with my headphone mic instead, and I'm knackered, and I just wanted to record this video in case I forgot. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed this video. It might generate a lot of you to be quite annoyed with me because my opinions are sort of all over the place. It's just a little rant video for me. I will clarify this. I do think that Wenger will be leaving the club soon. It is his time's coming up at the club. But if he can prove me wrong, then I will be over the moon. I would love him to prove me wrong, and I really hope he does. I really hope that he does something in January transfer window which shocks me. I'll do another video like this at the end of the month, sort of, talking about what we have actually done in the transfer window. But please, I really hope that Mr. Wenger buys something. First time I've ever called him Mr. Wenger, but I really hope he does actually do some business in the transfer window. So thank you for watching, guys. Yeah, ta-ra.